Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good Monday morning. I have 2 weeks left. What's today's date? Today is the 26th. I go back to work the Friday after the opening game. So I got 2 more weeks, people. I go back, I go back the 6th. So the opening game is the 5th. I was wrong. I said the 7th. The 5th. 5th is a Thursday. We have Kansas City, I believe. And then Friday, we got the Birds in Brazil, followed by Sunday, Cowboys at Browns. Lingering question, will CeeDee Lamb be on the sidelines in the game? Will he be in attendance? Will he be playing? There's a lot of question marks, as well as a lot of bright spots as well. We found some bright spots. Now, it wouldn't be Cowboys-like if we couldn't get to anything negative. And we have two injuries that we got to talk about. We've already talked about it. We lost Sam Williams for the year. We've went and addressed it with multiple bodies. Again, the outside noise from the outside. Everybody, and I just want everybody to understand, everybody has an opinion. Just like I have an opinion. If I don't agree with your opinion, that doesn't mean you're necessarily wrong. You know what I mean? We all have opinions. Some more informed than others. We'll just leave it at that. Again, barring injury, this team's going to win anywhere from 9 to 12, 13 games. I'm not predicting 13, but I'm just giving you a range. Barring injury, barring Dak, Micah, CD. I think that's what we're looking at. I think if the left tackle turns out to be horrendous, then you could have some issues, but everything has showed you that that's not the case. Now, supposedly they're scouring the wire, they're talking to teams before the cuts, and a lot of cuts have already begun around the league. They are looking for a left tackle, swing tackle, which tells me that if they don't make a trade for a veteran guy who could back up Guyton or step in, then we're going to go with a guy that they're not 100%. They're not 100% on board with, whether it be an Asim Richards or Matt Waletzko, who I would go with Matt Waletzko. It's just me. I know Asim Richards was a draft pick last year, but if we're going to sit there and harp on draft picks and we go, well, they got to make the team, that's not the way things should be done. So far, no cuts for the Cowboys. Other teams have made cuts. Today is Monday as I make this video. A cut deadline. They don't have to wait, but they'll start giving their pink slips to people. They probably already have. They could start whenever, but the deadline is Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Put it in the comment. If you did 4 or 5, normally it's 4 o'clock, 1 o'clock West Coast, 3 o'clock Central. So we'll see about the cuts. My main contention, my main curiosity is who's going to be that defensive back that makes it, who's going to be cut, who's going to be the last running back, who's going to be cut. I sure hope it's not what Brian Broaddus said. We can't afford to cut Hunter Lepke, and we can't afford to cut Deuce Vaughn. That's just blasphemy in my eyes. You need to give guys a fair shot. If you're going to keep Luke Schoonmaker, then you better keep a Deuce Vaughn. Luke did not much last year. So, you know what I mean? If we're going to keep it 100 Cowboys, but then again, they're the ones that do the evaluations, not Game Time Brian. But looking forward to see who's going to be that swing tackle. They are looking for a trade, probably to flip a guy who we have a lot of interior guys. Maybe somebody wants a Josh Ball. Josh Ball does show flashes on the interior. When he gets put out at tackle, he gets exposed. But Josh Ball in small areas is good. But with the emergence of T.J. Bass, we got a Brock Hoffman. I mean, yeah, Nathaniel Thomas, I think that's the rookie. I mean, we have a lot. Asim Richards. I mean, look, we have a lot of guys who can play the interior of the line outside of the starters. So, I would be a little bit leery with Zach Martin in the last year of his contract. I personally would reach out to Zach and see if we can get something extended, but they won't. Yeah, I mean, I want Zach Martin for as long as we can have Zach Martin. Like I always bust the stones on my Eagles people, I say, well, on paper you have you have some good guys that are ready to step in, but in reality, there's nobody that's ready to be Jason Kelsey. That's just not, that's not reality, people. It's going to be a step down. What also made Jason Kelsey so unbelievably valuable is his up here, his smarts for the game, identifying pressures, fighting through injury, staying healthy, always being available. Those things for some guys come second nature, and we all. I'm going to sneeze, I think. It's that time of year. God bless me. Excuse me. Those things come is second nature to guys who make it look easy, to guys who get through when they're not feeling good necessarily, and just keep getting the job done over and over and over. Let me turn this up a little bit. A little bit. There we go. So again, we have our own question marks. Eagles offensive line's rated number 1 on paper. We'll see how that translates. I think that's important for them because if they want their offense to do what I think they could do, they're going to need some time to throw the ball. But circling back to the Cowboys, Jerry Jones spoke after the preseason game. My thoughts on Jerry Jones, but we're going to cover it and I'm going to react and show you. It's only a 4-minute video, but we'll have it on here and we'll see what I mean, I know what he said, but I want everybody who didn't hear what he said. It's just kind of, okay, man, the rubber hits the road now. Every once in a while you got to show love, right? You got to show love. You got to, go out of your way to show love. It's like your kids, you got to show them love, even though you may not always agree with everything that they're doing or how they're, they want to go do something and you give them your advice based on years of knowledge and the pitfalls that could happen with getting from point A to point B. They still want to do what they want to do. Why? Because kids know it all, right? They got to learn it for themselves, make mistakes. That's all. Like, we can't protect everybody, but Jerry Jones, he's coming out guns a-blazing. He's doubling, tripling, quadrupling down Al Davis style. So we got Al Davis 2.0, but let's listen to Jerry. Let me switch the camera here so I could see without hurting my neck. And there we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's ride.
It's not over for even the ones that won't make our roster. It's not over. I can't tell you the numbers of. It has to be 100 or more. During the time I've been with the Cowboys that got cut at this time and turned around and right back in there helping us win games with the Cowboys. So this doesn't have the finality that you might think, and that'll be the thing that I want to be sure and emphasize. Had a lot of guys give us a lot in camp.
Jerry, with what you've seen from Trey Lance, what's your evaluation of his future with this team?
Well, I saw good, and I saw some things that you'd like to have back. I hated those 5 intercepts are going to be a stat on a game that I couldn't have asked for more reps and better situation to watch him play.
That's true.
That's true. He needed that because the one thing he's missing more than anything is the lack of reps, much less NFL reps. Saw some good things and saw some things you'd like to have back. But overall, I'm glad to have that outing with us. And certainly we're planning on him being on our roster for sure.
What have you seen from him that tells you he could be a starter for you someday in this league?
Well, I think he's his athleticism. I think the main thing is the improvement from over the last 6 weeks. That's impressive. very impressive. What you're looking for is they're going up and is going.
And with all due respect to the haters out there on Trey Lance, and me and my partner, Primetime Phil, have gone out of our way to let everybody know where we stand. We want Trey Lance to be successful. Like a Jalen Hurts, I think if you could add, now here's the deal. If you could add mobility to the game, you give yourself a leg up. Just look what Jalen did a couple years ago and going to the Super Bowl. Look what Mahomes does all the time. You need a mobile quarterback. He needs reps. He just needs a lot. I want to invest money and years on this guy, but not to have to be the starter. So, I would be looking to, now that we've gotten past the preseason with Trey Lance, you got to, again, this is my issue with the front office of the Cowboys. There's no reason to wait. Okay, you could go to Trey Lance now. He just threw 5 interceptions. He could talk to his agents all he wants, but he needs to slow down, stay in one spot for a length of time, stop chasing the paycheck. And I would try and sign a Trey Lance to like a 2-year extension right now. 2 years, something more than what he's making. But stretch it out, you know what I mean? And maybe add a void year. Maybe give him $2 million, 16 years tacked on, or maybe tack it on. So after this year, it kicks on. So now he's got 2 years, 16 million, fully guaranteed, $8 million to pop. Something like that is what I would want to do, because you see the unbelievable flashes of Trey Lance. That also, I would want to re-sign Dak Prescott if possible. Okay, with some of the trap doors that they're trying to get accomplished. And trap door can mean one of anything regarding the Dak Prescott contract. It could be being able to trade. He's probably wanting a no trade because he loves it in Dallas. Dallas, okay, Jerry, now you come back and go, okay, you have right of first refusal. We can give you a list of 8 to 10 teams that of your liking now. And obviously he's going to pick teams where he would want to live, even if it's only for the season. Let's face it, a lot of these guys, not everybody does what they do in Philly. But usually when you come to Philly, you stay in Philly, usually, with the Jersey Shore and all that. But outside of that, it's hot in Dallas. Not everybody wants to be in Dallas. It's like, I love Florida, but I can't live Florida. Sorry, Phil, I can't live there 12 months out of the year. It's just too damn hot at times. But be that as it may, right, Mark? I got you, bro. I know I could slip it in at least once a video. I would like to keep Trey. I would like to bring Dak back and maybe, listen, if you sign Dak Prescott to a 4-year deal, okay, you could up Trey. Trey will be the backup down the line. Right now, he's not the backup, but next year, after more and more reps, I'd sign him to a 2-year deal. Or you're going to be stuck in a situation where you have to give him a 1 year, $10-12 million deal next year. I would just offer him the money. He's in house. Just stretch, stretch out a little bit, Trey. Just stay in the lab, get more work in. If we re-sign Dak, okay, as long as there's not a no trade, after 2-3 years, we could flip Dak. Dak might want to go at that point. Maybe we win a Super Bowl. I know it's laughable to some people, but the Cowboys fans in the know we have a lot of talent. It's just we have a problem putting it together in the postseason. So you could do both, and then you just don't want to be in a situation where you have to rely on Trey Lance, and then now you're scary. So let's hear a little more. I just wanted to say I'm going to keep it real. He has made marked improvement from when he got here till now. You could see it. He grows in confidence. I think a lot of it's mechanics and him seeing the field, which comes in with playing time. And I think now that he's getting all this playing time in the preseason, he's going to get a lot of work at practice. Now you get the games where you're right there on the field. God forbid he has to. I told Primetime this. I said, well, and he agreed, I believe. If it's 2 or 3 games, 4 games, 4 or 5 game stretch, God forbid, Dak hurts, then fine. You're going to go with Cooper Rush and see how it goes, because Cooper can keep the offense going, but Cooper can't do what Trey Lance did the other day, minus the interceptions. He can't just bust to one and run for 60 yards. That's what makes Trey Lance special. That's what made him the number 3 overall pick. What's going to get him over the finish line is his arm. So anyway, let's listen to Jerry.
Went up dramatically, really, every practice and every game. So I'm going to use that word because he's doing a lot of things that he's wasn't doing as well early that he's doing well now. I think we added up the other day. He hadn't had but about 1,000 plays in his career since about 2015 or his year that he played there's North Dakota. So bottom line is there was some good and bad out there for him tonight.
You're coming up on a year since that trade. Are there any regrets about making that trade for him?
For a 4th round pick? Are you kidding me? Although we did get Dak. We did get Dak with our second 4th round pick. So you got a point there. But we've had some that didn't play in the 4th round too.
Jerry, how do you look at the cornerback position? Are you going to look outside the organization for help there?
For what?
The cornerback position?
Not at all. Not in any way. No. Not at all. We've got, that's the good news is that we've got some guys that have really shown well in camp. We won't be looking at all.
What do you like about Carson?
I like the fact that he's playing at the level he is for how long a time, which is not much in the NFL. And he certainly is going to get a great opportunity to fill in here. We've had a couple of guys come in here and do pretty well the last 3 or 4 years at rookie cornerback, so maybe he'll make All-Pro.
Jerry, as you near the season starting, any updates on the city?
We're not. I don't have any updates, but we are near the season starting.
Have you seen him or his representation?
Listen, we got a lot of things to talk about. I'm only talking about who's here.
Jerry, now that preseason is
what's the matter, Jerry?
Training camp with these 3 games, how do you feel like this team is ready for 2024?
I really like the way that
I got to stop him right there. He only talks about who's here, yet word has come out that they've not offered no new contract offer to CeeDee Lamb. So we're asking him because you're not doing your job. You're sitting in front of a microphone answering questions when in reality you should be sitting back somewhere on your bus or in your office on the phone with the agent, or have your son, who that's supposedly his job, Stephen Jones, Mark's boy, to go actually get something accomplished. Now we're hearing that they want to wait to get Dak done. It's all over the place, people. Now they want Dak to get done first, so they can give CD more of what he wants. I digress.
our young players, several of them at different different areas of the team, both sides of the ball, that probably should have played more last year. And we just had veterans that were getting that play time. Now then, we've got those guys that are now coming in here, and I really like the camp that they had. You add those to the fact that we're getting some rookies that probably are ahead of what our expectations could have been. And so we've really done what you have to do in this league, and that is bring young players on and use them and play them, and that's what we're doing.
Jerry,
that was the plan. That is the plan.
Jerry, what did you think of Deuce Vaughn's preseason and what his chances of making this roster?
He obviously has got some very special talent, and you've got to find a place for that. You've got to find a place for it on Sunday to get it on the field. And you need that'll be the job of the next few days of weighing what a roster spot means. And he's sitting right there, though. He certainly he is gadget juice, and at non-gadget times. And so I really, he's going to be interesting for us.
Okay.
He plays on that outside.
Interesting. Gadget juice, and you know, I sure hope they keep Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn needs to be a part of this team. Sorry, Mark Hutchinson. He does. If we want to do anything this year, Malik Davis doesn't do much for me. All you Malik Davis's fans, we've cut him the last 2 years, and we've gotten him on the practice squad. Let's make it 3. We need to at least try with a decent offensive line and see what's up with Deuce Vaughn. Now, I want to go over a few things here. I just want to do around the, people are releasing a lot of people. I mean, there's teams are releasing a lot of people. So looks like 2030 is a realistic target for a new Commander Stadium. I don't know if that, I guess they need to get it approved soon. So lead commander, they're looking at 2030 for a new stadium. Nick Chubb to open season on the PUP list, which that was a brutal injury. Broncos safety Brandon Jones expects to be ready for opener. Just some Desmond Ritter in concussion protocol. Bills release 7 to 1 injured reserve. Rams release Boston Scott. There you go, Birds. Boston Scott is back. Now, Birds are loaded in the backfield. Let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. No. All right, let's do this. Let's share this. Cowboys 53-man roster projection ahead of roster cutdown day. Predict who will make the cut. I'm watching this as you guys are. Dallas Cowboys. The 2024 preseason is complete after their 26-19 defeat against the Chargers. Space is tight on a roster comprised of many members of the 2023 squad. Okay. With that in mind, here is our final 53. I'm just curious. This is CBS Sports. A shout out to them for their hard work. Prescott, Rush, Lance. I kind of figured that's what was going to happen. He already told you Lance is on the team. We know Rush got no reps. He's the backup, at least for this year. No drama there, so we can move right along. Running backs. That's funny. This is what I have. Now, just remember, we're going to get a lot of these other guys, a couple of these other guys on the practice squad. I'm not going to read the comments or in parentheses, wherever they were interviewing, but Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and Hunter Lepke. I have that exactly that way. Lepke will be listed as an H-back or fullback. That's what's going to be. I was surprised Brian Broad. I said Lepke's out and Vaughn's out and Malik Davis is in now. They've already, you know how Cowboys work, Brian. Maybe that's what you wanted because of special teams. Special teams, listen, with the new rules, we're going to be using bigger-bodied guys there anyway. So, look for a lot of these linebackers that are going to be special teams, the bigger receivers, the John Stevenses, bigger athletic guys are going to be playing on special teams. So, Malik Davis, Snoop Connor, Nathaniel Pete, Royce Freeman out. I would expect them to try and bring back Malik Davis, Royce Freeman. I don't know that Nathaniel Pete will be back. He was a backup in college. Shout out to DMV. He called that. I mean, I don't have a problem on the practice squad. If, I would try and bring back, I didn't see enough from Snoop Connor. So I would try and bring back Royce and one of the other ones. And maybe it's time to move on from Malik. You've cut him how many years in a row now? Maybe you go Pete and Royce Freeman. Royce runs hard. But, timing is everything. So that's what I have. So kudos to CBS. Who wrote the article real quick? Let's see. I want to give this man credit. Garrett Podell. Garrett, he just posted this about an hour and a half ago. So good on you, my man. So far, so good. I'm probably going to light you up soon. But we're getting there. Wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, Kavontae Turpin, Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy. Exactly right. My man is killing it. This is what you have to do, people. Kavontae Turpin will be a part of the special will be the kick returner. So in reality, we're only keeping 5. A lot of teams will keep 6 and special team guy. Now, Cavante Turpin is gonna do everything on special teams. So, Jalen Moreno Cropper's out. Tyrone Billy Johnson. David Durnard might find his way on the IR again. He's been beat up. Racy McMath, Kelvin Harmon, Deontay Burnett, and Cam Johnson. You're going to get at least 3 of these guys back. Maybe put Durden, who, again, he's very explosive special teamer as well. Maybe stash him one more year and try and get Cropper and Billy Johnson on the practice squad. That's what I would do. That's the kudos. We agree. We definitely agree. Tight end, Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker, John Stevens Jr. That's probably where they're going to go. I just want everybody to know John Stevens Jr., he's trying to block, but he's more of an explosive guy. That's the problem here because Brevin Spanford is out. Alec Holler's out. Peyton Hendershot, I think, will get cut. And we'll try and get him back to the practice squad. I don't think that'll happen. Princeton Fant's a guy I want on this team. So I don't know that we can get him to the practice squad. So that's a tough cut. That's my biggest cut because Luke Schoonmaker looked good in the last preseason game. That was huge for me to see. Princeton Fant needs to be on this practice squad, and I think you can get him on it. I like not dangling John Stevens out there because he's so explosive that I think people are going to love him when they actually see him used good. Bring back Fant and Brevin Spanford. I think Peyton Hendershot, they probably will not. After rethinking what I just said, he's moving on. He needs to go and have a more prominent role with the squad. And if nobody does pick him up, then sure. Sure. Moving along. So that's probably how it's going to play out. So my man's good. We'll have to revisit him when we're done. Offensive line. Starters, obviously. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Zach Martin. I don't know who's starting at center yet. TJ Bass, Brock Halfman, Cooper Beebe, Terrence Steele, Asim Richards, Josh Ball. See, I don't know about that. Asim Richards, I don't have keeping. I don't. He hasn't looked good. Matt, well, let's go. I'd rather keep. Nathan Thomas, you'll be able to probably get on the practice squad. We just added Cole Cabral. He will be cut. Possibly, you might be able to get him on a practice squad. Earl Bostic, I believe he's out injured. And Dakota Shipley will be cut as well. So if we're looking at 9, I would switch either Asim Richards and Josh Ball for Matt Waletzko. Okay. But remember the trade that we were talking about. They're hinting at getting a left tackle, which means you would give up an Asim Richards or a Matt Waletzko. Okay. You're not going to get anything all really good, but you might get a veteran guy on the downside, kind of like what they did a few years ago. I can't think of the man's name. We've done it a couple times, and you guys can remember the names that we came in and have actually gotten some starting work. So I kind of hope we move on from Josh Ball. Maybe we can flip Josh Ball for somebody. I like Matt Waletzko. He just needs to stay healthy. That's maybe why they're leaning at Asim Richards as the swing guy, but he hasn't shown me much. So that is the first real interesting cut. Who's going to make it? I don't have much of a problem with anything other than Asim Richards, Josh Ball, Matt Waletzko, and Nathan Thomas. We'll see how that works. I don't think Thomas makes the 53, but I think we get him on the practice squad. Let's see here. Defensive line, Micah Parsons, D-Law, Mozzie Smith, Osa, Chauncey, Marshawn Nealon, Jordan Phillips, Carl Lawson, and Linval Joseph out. Justin Rogers, Valami Fahoko, Muhammad. No. I thought Carl Davis was already out. I thought we released him. Did we bring him back? Muhammad needs to be on this team. Albert Huggins, Tyrus Wheat, Darrell Johnson. Denzel Daxon, you want to get on the practice squad. Nobody's going to pick him up, but he flashed in the last game. I like Daxon to bring in maybe either Wheat or Johnson, bring back on the practice squad. Justin Rogers, I'm surprised. But numbers-wise, you probably cut him and try and bring him back on the practice squad. I don't see any real issue with this. Listen, when you have as many talented players as we do, you can't keep every draft pick. So you're going to have to release him and try and get him on your practice squad. Fajoko's got to go. So looking at the starters, I don't have a problem with any of these. Obviously, Linval, Carl Lawson, Jordan Phillips. I might find a way to go with 10, but then you got to cut somebody else. That's the issue with that. So you can't cut on the offensive line. This is where you can't cut the receivers. This is where Deuce Vaughn, that's what you're looking at, people. Yeah, so far I don't have any control. I don't have any problem with it. Justin Rogers, he's not good enough to start on anybody's team right now. So that's probably the move to make. But I like Muhammad big time. So here's my thing. How much does Carl Davis actually have left? I saw him get a couple reps. They need to decide who's better, Muhammad or Carl Davis. That's what they need to decide. Not Carl Davis. Muhammad or Carl Lawson. They need to decide who's better. Carl Lawson has a pedigree, but Muhammad has looked like a dog throughout the preseason. You can get Rodgers on the practice squad, so I'm fine with that. So that one's tough. Get Denzel Daxon on the practice squad, bring Justin Rogers back, and one of the ends here. This is what you're dealing with. Some tough cuts. Maybe we can get a little bit more creative with injuries, or you got banged up in your last, something like that. Linebackers: Eric Kendricks, DeMarvion Overshone, Damone Clark, Maris Leofau, Nick Vigil, and Buddy Johnson. So who's out? Damian Wilson. Willie Harvey is not out. There ain't no way Willie Harvey is out. Darius Harris, Brock Morganson. Nope. Willie Harvey is not out, people. So I agree with this one. It's about who you can get to the practice squad. Teams like the Eagles are going to be looking at this move big time. Does Willie Harvey play special teams? Maybe that's what they're talking about. I would keep Willie Harvey and cut Nick Vigil and try and bring Nick Vigil onto the practice squad. He was already out there. That's what I would do. But again, you gotta let Overshone and because Harvey is more of a veteran type guy. That one's a tough one. Damian Wilson's out. I already had that. Willie Harvey's got to be on here, but that would mean Nick Vigil or Buddy Johnson being off. So who offered? To me, he don't need both of them. I would cut Nick Vigil and bring him back on the practice squad. That's just me. But Mike Zimmer may not do that. So we'll see. I'm not watching all the practice tape of Willie Harvey. I just know I like what I've saw. He's stat at the point of attack. So corners, we got Trayvon Diggs, Jordan Lewis, Kalen Carson, Andrew Booth. Wow. They have him cutting Eric Scott, Josh Butler, Keeman Hall. I don't have a problem with Josh Butler, Keeman Hall, Josh DeBerry. Eric Scott, he's a guy I would try and flip to the Commanders for John Ridgeway. Why not? But hopefully they cut Ridgeway and we'll bring him in. But, we'll see. I don't know that we have room for him. Jones said he is not at all looking to add additional cornerbacks. Yeah, we saw that. So I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, those four. Andrew Booth is a Zimmer guy. I like his tackling. I like him better than Eric Scott Jr. The rest of the three guys, Keeman Hall had the pick six, but young guy. You should be able to get Keeman Hall and probably Josh Butler back. You'll get these guys back on the practice squad. Eric Scott Jr. is probably gone. Again, that was a Dan Quinn mistake as far as how much draft capital that we gave up to get him, and he hasn't paid dividends yet. Not to say he won't. Malik Hooker is the safety. Donovan Wilson, Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell, Israel Mukwamu. Just remember, Mukwamu and Wanye can give you some slot. They're good at covering. So I think you're good. That's going to make up for keeping the four corners. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have a couple of these corners on the practice squad. So, they're cutting Julius Wood and Amani Johnson, and you're going to get. And Red Wine was already released, so he's no longer a part of the team. So Julius Wood and Imani Johnson look to be brought back on the practice squad. And the special teams, it's easy. Aubrey, Anger, Sieg, CJ Goodwin. You know how I feel about CJ. Nothing personal, brother, but nothing personal. But I'd like to move on, but I've been saying that for a while. That's why I would kind of, tell Bones Fossil, you can't have everything you want. Like the Nick Vigil pick. I'd rather keep Willie Harvey Jr. than Nick Vigil. Willie Harvey Jr. went to a league, UFL, which was comprised of USFL and XFL, and he was the best linebacker in the league. Nick Vigil is a veteran guy who does well on special teams, and he can do some stuff. But me personally, I need to make sure my run is stuffed, and that's what Willie Harvey will help you do. So that one was really the only real thing. But as you see, there's going to be 4 or 5 guys on this team that they're going to be cut. That it sucks. But that's what happens when you have a good roster, a better than good, a above average roster. So, and you're going to lose guys, just like other teams are going to lose guys. If you're searching the waiver wire for all these guys, then how good are you really? As much as we hated losing Ridgeway, what was Washington last year? Not much. It was good for them, but now that I don't know that we would take Ridgeway back. I would hope so, but looking at the numbers, we'd have to put him on the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue. But this video is getting long-winded. I'm going to try and do a lunchtime chat. We'll see. But I'm going to call this my 53 discussion. I'm not going to do a 53 video. We will, after the cuts tomorrow, we'll definitely go live talking about the 53-man roster and who made it, who's out, and all that. So let that simmer, and we got a lot going on this week. Hopefully CD gets in. Love for Dak to get re-signed and roll into the season with some sort of wind at our back. So, all right, everybody. Game time, Brian. I'll talk to everybody later. And don't forget. Late.
How about them Cowboys?
Keith, there are 3 things that the defense now is not allowed to use against the offense, which takes away some of the stuff that you guys can do. You want to show me the 3 things?
Yes.
That are not legal.
Hands in the face mask.
That one?
Grabbing those face masks.
Yeah.
Hand slap.
You told me you weren't going to hurt me.
Well,
Ooh. I didn't have bars in here. God.